Elijah the TISHBITE, 1 Kings 17 through 21, and 2 Kings 1 and 2, the life of Elijah. Introduction. A remarkable event in the ministry of Jesus was his transfiguration. A. Transfigured before Peter, James, and John, Matthew 17, 1 and 2. B. Joined by Moses and Elijah, then exalted by the Father, Matthew 17, 3 through 8. C. Followed by questions related to Elijah, Matthew 17, 9 through 13. 2. We might also ask questions about Elijah. A. Why did he appear with Moses and Jesus? B. Of all the prophets of the Old Testament who could have appeared, why him? 3. Elijah was certainly a remarkable individual. A. The grandest and the most romantic character that Israel ever produced. B. Mightiest of all the prophets. C. The most eminent of the prophets. 4. Yet he is described as A man with a nature like ours, James 5:17. B. Of the same constitution, a human being just as ourselves. C. A mere man, subject to the same weakness and infirmities as other men. He appears to have suffered from discouragement and depression. How did such a man become the greatest of prophets? What lessons might he offer us in our service to God? Let's take a closer look, beginning with Elijah the man. A. His name. The name Elijah means Yahweh is my God. 2. In the New Testament, some translations render his name as Elias, Matthew 17:3. B. His origin. 1. This prophet is introduced as abruptly as Melchizedek, his birth, parents, and call to the prophetic office being alike unrecorded. 2. He is called the TISHBITE of the inhabitants of Gilead, 1 Kings 17:1. 3. His origin is uncertain. A. Some think Tishbe was a city in Galilee, others in Gilead. B. Some even suppose that he was an Ishmaelite, not an Israelite, sent to rebuke and shame the apostate Israel. C. Some have even opinioned that he was an angel of God, though this can be countered by James' statement, James 5:17. C. His appearance. 1. A hairy man wearing a leather belt around his waist, 2 Kings 1:7 and 8, John, Matthew 3:4. 2. That is, he wore a rough garment, either made of camel's hair, as his successor John the Baptist's was, or he wore a skin dressed with the hair on. Some think that the meaning is he had very long hair and a long beard. The ancient prophets all wore rough garments or upper coats made of the skins of beasts. They wandered about in sheepskins and goatskins, say the apostle, Hebrews 11:37. 3. His costume was that of a thorough ascetic. Generally, the Jews wore girdles of linen or cotton stuff, soft and comfortable. Under the girdle they wore 1 or 2 long linen gowns or shirts, and over these they had sometimes a large shawl. Elijah had only his leather girdle and his sheepskin cape or mantle. Even in his day, Elijah would have been considered strange. Yet we can't help but be impressed by this remarkable man as we consider Elijah, his ministry. A. The judgment of drought. 1. The proclamation of Ahab, 1 Kings 17:1. A. Note the wickedness of Ahab and Jezebel, 1 Kings 16:29 through 33. B. The prophecy sworn by the Lord God of Israel before whom I stand. C. By his word there will be neither dew nor rain for 3 years. God's care of Elijah. A. By the brook Cherith, 1 Kings 17:2-7. B. At the widow of Zarephath, 1 Kings 17, 8 through 24. 1. The miracle of the bin of flour and jar of oil. 2. The rising of the widow's son. 3. His appearance before Ahab. A. Commanded by the Lord, 1 Kings 18, 1 and 2. B. Arranged by Obadiah, 1 Kings 18, 3 through 16. C. Falsely accused of being a troubler of Israel, 1 Kings 18, 17 through 18. B. The challenge on Mount Carmel. A. Challenging Israel and her false prophets, 1 Kings 18, 19 and 20. A. The 450 prophets of Baal and 400 prophets of Asherah. B. Supported by Jezebel, Ahab's wife. 2. The challenge to Israel, 1 Kings 18:21. A. How long will you falter between two opinions? B. If the Lord is God, follow him, but if Baal, follow him. 3. The test between Elijah and the prophets of Baal. A. The test explained, 1 Kings 18:22 through 24. B. The prophets of Baal go first and fail, 1 Kings 18:25 through 29. C. Elijah's remarkable victory, 1 Kings 18:31 through 39. D. The prophets of Baal executed the brook Kishon, 1 Kings 18:40. 4. The drought comes to an end as Elijah prays, 1 Kings 18:41 through 46. C. The flight for his life. 1. His life is threatened by Jezebel. A. Forced to flee to Beersheba in Judea, 1 Kings 19:1 and 3. B. His despondency and desire for death, 1 Kings 19:4. 2. His journey to Horeb. A. The provisions by an angel, 1 Kings 19:5 through 7. B. Strengthened for 40 days and nights, 1 Kings 19:18. 3. His discouragement and the Lord's response. A. Despite his success, he feels all is lost, 1 Kings 19:9 and 10. B. The lesson from the Lord, 1 Kings 19:11 and 12. C. Elijah's despondency remains, 1 Kings 19:13 and 14. D. The Lord's new duties for Elijah, 1 Kings 19:15 through 17. 1. Anoint Hazael as king over Syria. 2. Anoint Jehu as king over Israel. 3. Anoint Elisha as prophet in his place. E. He is not alone. There are many others, 1 Kings 19:18. 4. Elisha becomes Elijah's servant, 1 Kings 19:19 through 21. D. His messages to Ahab and Ahaziah. 1. Elijah rebukes Ahab regarding Naboth. A. Jezebel has Naboth killed so Ahab can have his vineyard, 1 Kings 21:1 through 16. B. Elijah announces shameful deaths for Ahab and Jezebel, 1 Kings 21:17 through 26. C. Ahab's humility delays judgment, 1 Kings 21:27 through 29. Elijah the Tishbite. The end of part 1 of 2.